Today, we are going to talk about Shani, Shanishwara, one of the only planets that has attained the status of Ishvara. If you are trying to learn about Saturn under Western astrology, you got to be careful. The position of the planets under Western astrology is very much different from positioning in Vedic astrology. In Vedic astrology, there is sidereal time correction, and there is also the application of Ayanamsa correction. You may find like 22 degrees of difference between planetary positions calculated as per Western astrology versus the Vedic astrology. It is said that Lord Shanishwara is exalted in Tulam or Libra, and 180 degrees from here lies the house of Mesha or Aries, and this is where Shanishwara is debilitated. So, an exalted planet gives a lot of benefits, or it is very strong in disposing its effects, whether it's a good effect or a bad effect. But a weakened planet, a debilitated planet, may not be so strong in giving you the results. Shanishwara is a very poorly understood planet. Everybody fears Lord Shanishwara. By sheer blessings of Lord Shanishwara, that you will attain a lot of fantastic or extraordinary things in your life. You can only gain control over the masses. You can only get spectacular fame if Shanishwara bestows his luck upon you. He also gives you longevity. Those who have a good Shanishwara in their chart live quite long. He also brings you on long travels. You travel the seven seas, not exactly for fun, not as a tourist, but it is associated with work, training, acquiring new skills. And these trips will be long trips. You have to be away from your loved ones. You have to come out from your comfort zone. He also makes you undertake big projects, things that you would not even imagine, like building a big business, building your connections, large connections, becoming super famous, undertaking a project that takes years to complete, but almost close to a feat. It is difficult for somebody else to do the same thing again. You will do those things, when you have the power of Shanishwara. He also gives you something that is lifelong, that people cannot take away from you. It can be a lesson, it can be a skill, it can be maturity, it can be a recognition, fame, or something that you will do things that you never thought was possible. Such is the power of the Lord Shanishwara. And therefore, it will be very good if you can have the Shani Mahadasha during your youthful years. So, what is Shani Mahadasha? Shani Mahadasha is a 19-year period that you have to go through in your life. I would say 19 years of hard work and transformation that you have to go through. And unfortunately, it comes after the Guru Mahadasha. So, Guru Mahadasha, if the Guru is well placed in your birth chart, he gives you all that you can ask for, and without making much effort, things come to you. Success, name, fame, everything comes to you. But Even as you are going through the Guru Mahadasha, you might have a feeling that maybe I don't deserve all this. I didn't actually work so hard. But when Shani Mahadasha kicks in, that is right after Guru, you will go through a shutdown, or it almost feels like a shutdown. Everything comes to a grinding halt at first. Life comes to a grinding halt because Lord Shani has this 19-year-old plan for you. It's a very, very long plan. It's like a blueprint, and you have to follow his blueprint. If you do not want to transform yourself, you do not want to make the changes, you do not want to come out from your shell, not wanting to leave your comfort zone, you face the consequences. He is going to kick you where it hurts and make you move. And this is why, people who are going through Guru Mahadasha towards the end sometimes feel like everything fails around them. Suddenly, the job environment turns hostile, or suddenly they feel that they are not as lucky as previously anymore. It's so difficult to make ends meet. Almost, this is what I said about life coming to a standstill. Almost, because now Lord Shani says, this is the blueprint that I have for you. This is the skill that I want you to go out there and get. And the first few years of Shani Mahadasha will be this seemingly pointless relearning, unlearning your old bad skills and relearning new skills that is of a higher quality. And all of a sudden, you have to do the same thing almost 20 to 30 times, or the task becomes longer, quite repetitive again and again until you become the best. So this will take a few years, and you will not realize this until a few years have passed in the Shani Mahadasha. And during the period of Shani Mahadasha, he gives you a lot of responsibility. Your responsibilities are going to increase by leaps and bounds. He will push you to greater heights, but he will also teach you to push your own limits. And these limits, we are not talking about physical limits, it's more about what is running in your mind. It is about pushing your mental limits. It makes you forgetful because you just have so much going on, and you just can't, sometimes concentrate on the specifics, the fine print, and this is where you will tend to make mistake. And when you make a mistake, he punishes you. You get into trouble. Then you learn. Then you mature. Then you learn to become more careful. Then you even go to the point of becoming pedantic. You want to go through every letter before you sign. You want to read each line, and because the consequences, and the consequences are heavy because expenditure increases during the early phase of Shani Mahadasha, and you don't want to lose money unnecessarily. It will also make you procrastinate and overthink because you suddenly become this overcautious person. You have now lost the optimism that initially came, with the Guru Mahadasha. With the Shani Mahadasha, you now have to face failure. You have to face your own failure. And you got to go back to the drawing board, and you got to ask yourself hard questions. Why? Why am I not getting this right? Where have I failed? And because you're going through so much pressure, you can't tolerate people who people who are annoying with you. You just want to tell them off, and your speech becomes harsh, and your speech becomes slow, it becomes measured. And true enough, people who can't cope up with the harshness of the Shani Mahadasha, if there are other conditions, that are favorable, they even turn into um, alcoholism. So this is something that should be curtailed, early on, and it will be worthwhile taking on some form of exercise to keep yourself healthy and fit, because Shanishwara wants you to be disciplined. I mean, how else are you going to face all this responsibility, work hard, work those long hours, and embark on these, tremendous projects, if you do not have the discipline? So without discipline, without the stamina, you will falter during the Shani Mahadasha. So if you say, I used to work like 30 hours a week, and that was tiring enough for me. No, during the period of Shani Mahadasha, he makes you work 60 hours per week, not 30 hours. So you got to set that in your mind, that I am going to work twice as hard, and I would probably um, see less benefits than before. Life suddenly switches to the slow lane, and you see all your friends, your competitors, your enemies passing by at breakneck speed. They're just progressing in life while you're just sitting there and looking at your own predicament. You procrastinate, but Sunny wants action. So if you want to turn your life over, Shani Mahadasha is the best time, and it is time to act.